Welcome, everyone, to episode number 113 of Talkin Kentucky. It is Tuesday, November the 5th. I'm Coleman Scott. He's Caden Holmes here on a beautiful night in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Caden is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Caden, can you believe that it's already November? I just got the notification to get ready for our Spotify Wrapped for Talking Kentucky for the year, where it sends us all our stats about where we're listened to and how we're listened to in Senegal somehow and all that kind of stuff. Can you believe it's the end of the year already, Caden?
No, I can't. And that list is always interesting because it'll be like, Tennessee as one of the top listened states, even though we make fun of their fans 24/7.
Well,
and then
listen,
just like the random countries that I've never even heard of. So,
well, I think Tennessee is going to take a spike up the list after last week, because we had a lot of Tennessee fans in the comments on the football postgame show on Saturday night, which was not good. By the way, I feel like Tennessee fans are they're kind of the worst, Caden. So they pop in and they like to taunt you and just say that we're your daddy and all this kind of stuff, and nobody even asked for it.
well, I think they
just
said a
call
lot
in.
worse than that, but at least they didn't call in and say it like they do for other people's podcasts.
Yeah, I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna sit here and read off what they said to you. You can go back and check that out for yourself for sure. But yeah, some people were going at it in the comments, like Tennessee and Kentucky fans. That's really all it was, just Tennessee and UK fans going back and forth down there. But the other thing I don't get is Tennessee fans saying, like, to us, saying, have fun in the coal mines, or get out of the coal mines. It's like Tennessee is like Venice or something.
They're literally like we border each other. Why they think we're
Like
such like a
you stupid rednecks. Like, I mean, like that's
yeah,
what
it's like listen to yourself.
Yeah, seriously. So I don't get that for sure. But hey, we've got a lot of people watching right now. We'd love to drop a comment down below and let us know you're here. And we'd also love you to share this video. That would be really great too. And as always, we are sponsored by www.diddukewin.com, which, Caden, 1 week from today, we're going to be sitting on here. The next time we're going to be on here, we're going to be talking about the Kentucky Wildcats taking on the Duke Blue Devils, and hopefully how we beat the Duke Blue Devils, Caden.
Hopefully we beat the Duke Cooper Flags.
Yeah, that's what they are this year, right? It's like it's him and the rest of the him versus the world, basically.
But, one other point about the DukeWin.com is, since they're our sponsor, if you have a clever comment or just like making fun of Tennessee or Duke or whatever, you might be like in the running for the comment of the day, the DukeWin.com comment of the day.
We can start that up. The Duke Win comment of the day. I think that's good. I think we can definitely start that up. And speaking of today is of course election day, but nobody cares about that. So we're gonna get back into our holidays, Caden, because everybody knows it's election day, but that's really not the important one here. We're gonna get into some of our other holidays here. It is American Football Day. Not European football, but American Football Day. So I know Caden's excited about that. That is his favorite sport. It's National Love Your Red Hair Day / National Redhead Day.
Are you a fan of red hair, Coleman?
I like red. Yes, I like red hair. Yes, I am a fan.
I was just checking.
Of redheads. Yes, I do. I do like red.
You don't have a problem. You don't have a problem with redheads.
I don't have a problem with Kenny Payne. Yeah, I don't have a problem with redheads. No, not at all. There's probably less than 1% of people that got that reference there. But anyway,
the real ones who have been listening from day one will understand.
Oh, yes, the real ones, for sure. Next one says it is Election Day, and next to that it says it's Gunpowder Day. So I'm kind of concerned that those are next to each other. And it's National Chinese Takeout Day today. I can't eat Chinese, Caden, because of my food allergies, but are you a fan of Asian food? Do you like some Chinese food?
Yeah, it's hard to find a good Chinese restaurant, though, especially in Kentucky for whatever reason. But if it's a good, like, There's a Panda Express here that's actually pretty good here in Bowling Green. So I'm a fan.
We got some commenters down here now. We got Madeline. She says the blonde is in the house. Madeline, are you talking about yourself or are you talking about Laura Rutledge back here, my background? Either one. Yes, you're right. The blonde is in the house. Pete McGregor said, trying to hide again, and I caught you guys. Yeah, Pete's been late. He's been consistently. Yeah, he's been consistently.
How are we hiding?
Well, he's been consistently coming to the show, but he doesn't realize that we're live. So I think maybe Pete, you maybe turn your notifications on that we're live, and maybe you'll get a little buzz or something when we're live, and then I think
I thought the @followers thing, doesn't that notify them?
I guess it doesn't notify everybody. I don't know. It's the Russians hacking into our Facebook page, Caden. So Pete says, I love Chinese food. And she's also talking about herself, not Laura Rutledge. So, okay. Well, yes, the blonde is indeed in the house. Everybody's saying they can't wait until March.
Why Laura Rutledge tonight? I just have to ask.
Well, so if you want to know the reason, I had her in my background for the Tennessee post-game show.
Oh, so just carried over. I gotcha.
I just didn't change it. Yeah. For the past 4 weeks, I've had the Burning Room background for my Kentucky football post-game shows, and I felt like I couldn't do that again because it really wasn't funny anymore. So I thought the next best thing would be Laura Rutledge, so I just threw that back there. Thought that was good. Madeline says she can't wait until March. I can't either, and we're going to talk some Kentucky basketball for sure. Let me see if there's any other good.
Jonathan can't either because Jonathan says he's not going to watch until March. So
yeah, I don't get so. Let's go and talk about that. There's no other good holidays, by the way. It's just a bunch of birthdays. So
he's letting Coach Cal like determine his what he thinks about the Pope era. You say life.
So yeah. Well, I mean, Kentucky basketball is life.
I get it. When you're let down so many times, you get to your breaking point, I guess is where he's at.
You do. And I get that, but let's go ahead and since everybody's talking about Kentucky basketball, I mean, it was down the list on the show tonight because I just try to mix it up sometimes, but yeah, everybody wants to talk about the Cats, so that's all good. But Caden, we won 103 to 60 something last night, which was a good, definitely a good opener. We won by 41. I don't remember the exact score, but I know we won by 41, which is of course, the former number of Mark Pope. So that was a very serendipitous way to open the Mark Pope era, which I thought was great. And I don't know how you can't be excited. And I posted in our little Talking Kentucky Fans Facebook group, which if you're not a member of that, definitely join. But I posted in there, give me one good reason that this team can't win a national championship. And, we got some responses that were like, oh, yeah, I can't give you a reason why we can't win a national championship because I think we're going to. And then we got some responses like, well, wait until the Duke game, including from your dad, Caden. He said, well, we got to wait till Duke. And I get that. But with the job that Mark Pope has done so far, with what we've seen so far from this team and the blue-white game and these exhibition games and now in the first real game of the season, they haven't showed me any reason that we can't win the national championship, Caden. I think this team could go to a Final Four. I think this team can go on a tournament run and make it happen.
Maybe. I mean, I'm probably leaning more towards my dad's side because, some of those Coach Cal teams, we didn't we beat like Asbury by 200 points or something like that?
90 something.
Yeah, close. But yeah, so I kind of lean on that side. Like, let's see the Duke game. I mean, is Wright State any good at all?
Well, I mean, they're a good little team. I mean, they had a lot of people graduate last year, I think, but I believe they were averaging 87 points last year per game. And I mean, they're one of the best shooting teams. Actually, I think I heard somebody say, I think I heard Tom Leach say they were the fourth best shooting team in the country. last year or something like that. So,
Okay.
I mean, again, they don't have all those returners, but I think they're a good little team. I mean, they're not pushovers. I mean, to beat them by 41, I think that means something, because you go back to Cal, right? Some of these Cal teams we might lose, right? UNC Wilmington, we lost to them, or we've definitely had games like that last night that we only win by 8 to 10 points, right? So,
well, the thing that I was most impressed by, and I did not get to catch all the game because I had a lot of things going on last night, but I definitely watched like all the highlights, and it's cool that even whenever we don't hit like 20 or 33s or whatever crazy number we get, like we still have dudes that can drive to the rim and create off of that. Like, so we're not solely a 3-point shooting team, which is kind of what I was concerned about. Like, I thought if we had a bad shooting night, then we get knocked off in the tournament. But hopefully, and like I said, it's going to take. I'm going to still say second. What did I say? Second weekend team.
Second weekend, yeah.
Boy, if we can beat Duke, then I'll be a lot more optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody's looking.
That's the most obvious statement in the world, but that's what I mean.
I mean, yeah, everybody's looking at that Duke game, but I mean, let's talk about that. Like, I think with what they've showed us so far, there's no reason why we can't beat Duke. I'm feeling very optimistic about that game, it being 1 week out from it, Caden. I mean, how are you feeling? Do you feel any different than you did maybe, a month ago before the season started?
I feel a little better, yeah, and I think we're going to be pretty hyped for that game too. And do you think who's going to guard Cooper Flag? Is it going to be Owe?
It's got to be, right? I mean, that dude, by the way, was a beast.
He's a beast.
You called that too. Caden is really good at looking at our team for 5 seconds and being like, "That's our best player." And I don't know if Ortega's our best player, but he's certainly one of them. Like he
just does the intangibles, like just he does the dirty work.
Yeah, he does the dirty work.
He's the MKG of this team for sure.
You said that about somebody last year, right? You said somebody did the dirty work last year. I can't remember who you said.
I don't remember who it was at this point. Like last year's team feels so far away at this point.
It could have been Reed Shepherd this time last year.
It might have been. It might have been Reed Shepherd.
I mean, you also said Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. I think you compared Reed Shepherd to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. That he did.
Yeah, I know that sounds crazy because he's like Reed is way more of a shooter, but that's just what it reminded me of because he just did a lot of things, defensive and even created opportunities for his teammates too.
Well, that's the definition of dirty work is Ortega, right? I mean, he just went out there, he did everything. He got blocks and steals and assists and he could score too, which is great. So Pete McGregor in the comments, speaking of these player comparisons here, Pete says Carr equals Pope, Amari equals McCarthy, and Garrison equals Antoine Walker. Yeah, I mean, I don't
know about Garrison, Antoine Walker though. Isn't Antoine Walker wasn't a center, right?
I'm not going to argue with Pete. It's a free country. It's election day, and you can say whatever you want. But Madeline says Pope's.
I'm not arguing his freedom of speech. I'm just saying
it's First Amendment rights.
That's right.
Yeah. Pope's guys don't stop until they score. They are relentless, Madeline says. And she also says you can be optimistic now. It's not just like I'm feeling optimistic. You can be optimistic now.
Yeah, see her and my dad going back and forth.
On the page. Yeah, Madeline's like super optimistic. Your dad is cautiously.
Yeah, he's like, calm down. He's like, calm down, Madeline.
But Jonathan's just like, no, I'm not watching until March. Can't get the bad taste.
It doesn't matter what you say. He says, is it March yet?
A Theo says Owe has a motor on him. He is the team's Adu Thiero. Yeah, and I hated to see Adu go. Because I really did like Adu Thiero.
That's who I said, not Reed Shepherd. It was Adu.
You thought it was Adu? Okay. Well, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense because, I mean, he did, right? Like, he went 100% on every single possession. And Owe definitely is like that. And Adu did some dirty work, as they say, as well.
Butler is a lot more explosive than I realized. Like I didn't know we'd have a guy like that this year.
defensively too, man. I mean, he's insane. I mean, the first game he had more steals than the entire team had turnovers, which is really crazy. And last night, so I should say I was driving back to Baton Rouge from Alabama last night, and so I listened to the entire game on broadcast on radio with Tom Leach. And Caden, I don't know why I don't do that more, because I honestly enjoyed that more than if I had actually watched the game on TV. And I honestly feel like I took more from it, and like I knew more about the game. And it was almost like I had like a better overall picture of the game without even having watched a second of it. It was just from listening to Tom and Jack Gibbons do the call. So I love it.
Yeah, I need to do that more often. I want to find a way to sync it up. That's the hard part, though, syncing up the voice with the TV. Like if you had like TiVo or something, is that it? Does that even exist?
Is that what it's called? TiVo? I didn't.
Do you remember that?
You
know, back in the day, called TiVo.
TiVo
Might have been before your time, Coleman. But
it could have been. It could have very well been. But if you can figure out a way to sync it up to your TV, like that's awesome. I've done that before, and it gets out of sync, and you have to redo it a few times. But
or I guess if you have DirecTV, like whatever, if you have something that you can like rewind and pause, is what I'm saying, then you'd be able to.
Madeline says radio is great. It's the theater of the mind. That is very poetic, Madeline. Yeah. The theater of the mind.
It's like we got Theo Vaughn in here.
Yeah, Theo Vaughn is a poet in his own right for sure, to say the least. There you got some, man. Theo Vaughn, not to go on a tangent here, but Theo Vaughn, like it says the stupidest and the smartest things at the same time. I don't know anybody else like him. Like he'll say something that's just totally off the wall, dumb, but then he'll turn around and he'll give like you a real profound, like motivational quote.
He's so dumb that he's a genius. I think I'd lean on he's really smart side. Like I think he just has it figured out that he's like how to be a comedian and do it at a high level, and it's by saying dumb things that sound actually intelligent sometimes.
Jeremy says, "Scoot over, Coleman. Your head's blocking the hot chick." Well, yes, that's very true. That's me and Laura Rutledge back there. That was on LSU's campus a couple of years ago. This is the other thing, Caden. Speaking of that, was at SEC Nation in Baton Rouge. But College Game Day, which I've never been to, is coming to Baton Rouge this weekend for LSU and Alabama, and I have a little bit of a dilemma that I would like your all's help with. So the question is, it's LSU, Alabama, but what do I wear? Because I'm going to go. I don't know if I'll go at like 4 a.m., but I'm going to go at least like sneak by and see if I can just, peek in. Should I wear Kentucky gear? Should I wear LSU gear, or should I wear a combination of both? Because it is LSU and Bama, right? I feel like I kind of have a temptation to be an LSU fan for the day and just go all in on the Bayou Bengals, but I don't know if I should just go and rep Kentucky. I don't know.
Well, I know you, and I know you're going to end up wearing LSU, but I still think you should wear Kentucky all day and only Kentucky.
Well,
you need to be one of those dudes, like you're watching like a Hawaii game and there's a dude with a Kentucky shirt on in the front row. You need to be like that.
Jeremy says we're UK, so they know we are everywhere. That's true. I'll just go up to Pat McAfee with my UK shirt on and start talking about Max Duffy. They have a little rivalry going on there, I think. But you can see when I met Laura, I had the KSR shirt on. She said KSR in the house. So that's right. And
Madeline says
KSR was.
Madison says we're LSU, but don't listen to her, Coleman. We're Kentucky.
Don't listen to her. Well, I'll think about it. So SEC Nation was at LSU earlier this year. I believe it was for LSU Ole Miss, and I did wear Kentucky gear. And I got on TV. I was right behind Jordan Rogers. Like on the TV, I went back and watched, and you could see me with my little Kentucky hat and Kentucky shirt on behind Jordan Rogers. So blue got in,
Did you go back and watch on your TiVo?
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't watch on TiVo. No, since I don't
Does
know what
anyone
that
in
is.
our comment section know what TiVo is? Am I the only one? I can't be, right?
Uh, Pete McGregor says I was UK proud even in Baton Rouge. That's right. Pete was down in Baton Rouge for a few years too, and I'm sure he sported it down here. It's funny, you know, every time that I've been at the Starkville, because I'm doing some teaching at Mississippi State now, I have seen somebody with a UK shirt on. Every time. Now I know I haven't been up there a ton yet, but every time I've been there, I have seen somebody with a UK shirt or a UK bumper sticker. Like last time I was up there last week, saw a UK bumper sticker. You know, blue gets in everywhere. So that's a good point that Jeremy says I need to wear UK so that they know we're everywhere. But yeah. Wear UK and hold a beignet. Jeremy says problem solved. That even rhymes. I think that's good. I do need to order another Talking Kentucky cup. A couple actually. I need to order one for my mom. She keeps asking me to do that, so I probably need to do that. And you know, I need to order another one because the one I currently have is North Carolina colors, as we've established. So we fix that on the
Well,
order
that's
form.
why they were the test samples.
Yeah, that's why they were samples. But I need to get one. I'm going to put it in my office in Mississippi State. Caden. I've already got the hat in there. I need a cup in there too. So that'd be good. Pete says find the gumbo or jambalaya tailgates. Yeah. And Pete, I'm sure you experienced this. Caden, you don't know what tailgating is until you've come down to Baton Rouge. Like the stuff people
Yeah,
cook.
but I know what gumbo is though. I lived in
Oh, I
Houston.
know.
I miss it.
Gumbo's good. Gumbo's good. At Thanksgiving a few years ago, I went to a friend's down here. It was my first year down here actually, and we had duck gumbo on Thanksgiving, which was
I don't know about that.
that's the most interesting. That's the most Louisiana thing ever, right? Having duck gumbo on Thanksgiving, I feel like that's very. It doesn't get much more Cajun than that, for sure. But
I probably wouldn't eat that, but you know, crab or sausage or whatever, I'm fine with that.
yeah, crab gumbo. Yeah, just have a little crab leg, have a claw floating in there. Yeah.
What does duck taste like?
You know, it's its own thing. I think. You know, it's
Don't
not
say
really.
chicken.
It doesn't taste like chicken. And now everybody says that. You know what I haven't had? I'm curious if you've had this, Katie. Have you had alligator?
No.
Everybody says that tastes like chicken. But it's like, can you come up with any more detail than that? Like, oh, it tastes like chicken. It's like, well, I'm sure you can come up with something. No, it didn't taste like chicken. It tastes very, very gamey. You know, just kind of had a very just like a interesting.
I feel like
taste
duck would too, right? Or like any of that
No,
just random.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about duck.
Okay.
I haven't had alligator. I don't know what that tastes like. Apparently, it tastes like chicken. Yeah, look, Madeline nailed it. She says duck is gamey. Yeah, get gumbo is the thing to get.
Have you ever
down
had
here.
venison? It's pretty gamey too.
I have had venison. Yeah, just once. Actually, twice in two forms. I had it in like a steak, and then I also had it as like sausage. Madeline says she's yeah. Claude is in here with the election day talk. He didn't even say hello. He just came in here with his American flags and everything. So that's great. Madeline says I've had fried shark.
I haven't heard good things about shark.
I didn't even know you could eat shark, let alone fry it. Madeline, you've got to tell us what fried shark tastes like.
That can't be good.
It can't be good. No. None at all. Yeah, every time I try to plan conversations for the show, like we end up talking about duck and fried shark. Like I feel like if you would have told me like 28 minutes into the show here, we'd be sitting here talking about fried shark, I wouldn't believe you. So she says it was great.
Yeah, with a nice dip. In other words, you need sauce to make it taste good.
Yeah, that's like kind of like crawfish. You know, that's you know, and I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this for saying this living down here, but crawfish don't taste like anything, Caden. everybody says, "Oh, crawfish are so good." No, the way you're tasting is all the seasoning you put in it. You may as well fry rubber bands or something.
It doesn't taste bad, but I wouldn't say it's like the most amazing thing I've ever had. It's just like any other shellfish. Madeline had an ostrich burger. Where's she getting all this food?
Where are you getting this exotic food?
It ain't in Kentucky.
Ostrich burger. Where do you even get an ostrich? I've never seen an ostrich burger on a menu ever. Ostrich?
Where do you even find an ostrich?
They're not just walking around Lexington. You just go shoot an ostrich on Richmond Road.
Something tells me that's against the law to kill an ostrich.
I feel like that's right. Like, can't be that many ostrich in the world.
It's an endangered species, and Madeline's over here eating it.
Yeah, she doesn't care. She's like, you know what? I don't want cow tonight. I want ostrich. Fetch me.
Yeah, I bet it tastes like chicken too.
Yeah. Probably does. Well, so let's take a guess. How many ostriches do you think are in the world? We're gonna figure out this is an endangered species here.
Well, they're probably in Africa, right? Aren't they like insanely fast?
Apparently they're not,
and they're
fast
freaking
enough.
massive.
People making burgers out of them. Fast enough. But
what would it take to kill an ostrich? Like, shotgun?
Take at least a couple bullets, I would think. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I got an update here. It says the global population of ostriches is not known, but the common ostrich is generally considered to be of least concern. However, the population trend is decreasing and the species faces a number of threats. We're over here in Cincinnati, where Madeline's from, making ostrich burgers, and they're on a population decline. I feel like we need to stand up for ostriches.
Yeah, it's an ostrich burger. It sounds borderline illegal. So,
and Claude's over here talking about Trump. Let's see. Well, I can't read any of Claude's comments tonight. Madeline says shark was in the Caribbean, which makes sense. A client took me to a restaurant in Cincinnati for ostrich. Yeah, I can't say. So what is the?
Have you seen that on the menu before?
I was gonna say no, I haven't seen that on the menu. But what is the weirdest thing that you have seen on a menu somewhere, if you can remember? If Madeline hasn't said it already, then I'm concerned about what she has seen. But yeah,
well, if I remembered Greece better, I'm sure there were some strange things on the menu over there. You ever been to like somewhere out of the country, and even like meat different, like even like a burger in Greece will taste different, and you're thinking, what is actually in this?
I've never been out of the country before. Never? I have never even been out of the country, Caden. So I feel like that's something I want to do at some point is go out of the country. I feel like in Greece they do a lot of lamb, right? So it might be like a lamb burger. They do that in the Euros and everything.
Yeah, and that's fine, but
that's good.
Sometimes the food just tastes off. It's just different than what we're used to.
That's a good comparison to duck. Is I can't believe we're talking about this. That's a good comparison to duck is lamb. I feel like
okay,
like lamb, which that's the other thing about lamb. When we're talking about like chicken legs, we say chicken legs, or turkey legs, say turkey legs. But when it's lamb, we say leg of lamb. We don't say lamb legs. Why do we do that?
Leg of lamb?
We say leg of lamb. Yeah, like you see that on like a menu at a fancy restaurant, like I'm gonna order the leg of lamb. Well, it's just lamb legs, but we say it. We say it.
That's probably how they're able to charge you like 5 times more than anything, because they make it sound fancy.
Yeah, that's true. But I definitely haven't seen any ostrich or anything. I mean, I've seen like squid, I guess, before, and stuff like that.
Oysters was pretty common in Houston.
Yeah, oysters is the thing. Have you ever had oysters? Because I haven't. Like raw oysters. Yeah,
no, I have no desire. They're
freaking
slimy.
Yeah, I have no.
I don't want my food to be slimy.
I don't feel like food should be slimy. I feel like
They put them on crackers down there, like raw oyster and crackers. It makes me like want to throw up
I will say
watching someone eat that.
when they order or when somebody orders it at a restaurant, like a real fancy restaurant, like Malone's or Jeff Ruby's or something, like it looks cool. They bring it out on this big thing of ice and it like lights up and they, just come out and, it's like smoking or, with the fog
Smoking,
or
kind of like Cody.
Yeah, Cody's still smoking. But it's got to taste just awful. I mean, they've got to make it look cool.
Not cigarettes, by the way. Cody does not smoke cigarettes. I'll make that that clear.
No,
He'll give me crap for that if I didn't say that.
We're talking about grilling. You think Cody grills ostrich burgers? I'm going to go with no. I think he just sticks to the good old American ground beef.
Yeah. He would straight up say, "No, I'm not doing that."
Claude says if Harris
ain't gonna
wins,
work.
Claude says if Harris wins, I'm leaving America. So Claude, we don't want you to do that. Everybody just needs to take a step back. With the election, I feel like everybody just loses their mind about the election. I guarantee you, Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, none of us will ever meet him. And neither one of us care about any of us. They don't care about Kentucky basketball. So, we're just gonna go move on with our lives. Whatever
David Holmes talking about it.
Whatever happens here. So we're gonna do that. So we don't know how many ostriches are in the world, but I do know their population is declining. They can live up to 40 years though. So that's maybe we do need to. If it can live for 40 years, man,
can't alligators live for like 200 years?
Can they?
Or like turtles, or like those sea turtles?
Turtles can live for freaking ever. Yeah, turtles can live for like 200 years or something like that. Mm-hmm. But Claude says I grilled some burgers on the grill a few months ago, and they was pretty good. Were they ostrich? Nice, Claude. Well,
he's still got that profile picture.
Oh yeah, that's a good Halloween costume. Got Yazin there with the.
Hey Clyde, did you have any luck at Lover's Lane? By the way, let us know.
Yeah, did Clyde come down to Lover's Lane? Yeah. Hey, I learned earlier today that Caden was almost a movie star.
Oh no!
Are you telling me this? That's not a oh no. That's a good thing. You gotta tell.
Well, it was pretty short lived. I was almost a movie star, and then I decided on Talkin Kentucky instead.
Like the note on the car was short lived.
That was very short lived.
Yeah, it was very. Okay, Madeline's got to stop with all these food things. She said she had fried frog legs.
Yeah, I'm never eating with Madeline.
Yeah, Madeline's got an interesting diet here. She's got fried frog legs, an ostrich burger, fried shark, and something else, I think she said. But so are we going to beat Duke, Caden? That's all. That's what we take away from all this. We're going to beat Duke.
How many do they? Is it like usual? They get like 7 or 8 5-stars.
Yeah,
they had a good freshman class, right?
Yeah, and it's weird because the way I would describe that is we are like they used to be in Cal's early years, and they're like we used to be, right? So it's kind of flip flopped.
We are so much more experienced, though. Like I like our chances in an early season game, especially against a team like that.
Oh yeah, I absolutely. I mean, we've seen us like. I'm not even worried about the game. Like, if we win, and I've said this on here before, if we win, it's huge for us. If we win, I think the benefits of winning that game far outweigh the negatives of losing. If we lose that game, we lose the Champions Classic every year with Cal. Nothing new. Not scaring me. We're used to it. So if we win in the Champions game, man, everybody's going to be on board. It's going to be awesome. I wanted to go back and talk about the broadcast for a second, listening to Tom Leach. They did you could listen into the starting lineups because they piped those in. And when they were getting ready to do Kentucky's, they started like the 96 Bulls theme song. Yeah, and
we do that every time.
I was hyped. I think they are. I mean, I think that's the theme for this year. So I was hyped, and then I literally got cold chills when they introduced Mark Pope. They said, "Okay, head coach of your Wildcats, Mark Pope," and everybody just went crazy. You know, it was awesome, and just like you can tell how fast we were playing just from listening to Tom. It would be like right state shoots a layup, no good, and Butler over to Jackson for the 3 and got it. Like it's just like, you know, like he barely had the Jack Givens hardly ever had time to speak because they were just going back and forth and back and forth.
Did you see Kobe Brea like shoot and then already start running down the court because he knew it was in? Yeah, it's like we had Steph Curry out there.
I mean, he does remind me of Steph Curry.
It's so nice not being scared to shoot. They'll just throw them up there, and they don't get chewed out if they miss. Like it's really nice. Andrew Carr even hit a 3.
Yeah, he did, and you know that's something we talked about on the show. That's Pope's philosophy is they're going to keep shooting. That like no matter what, that's what he wants them to do. Claude says Kerr with a no look pass. I'm really gonna like.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was talking about to Kobe Brea in the corner. Yeah,
I'm really gonna like Kerr Carissa. Which, by the way, came out to all the single ladies at Big Blue Madness.
Did he?
You remember he came out to which I knew from that moment I was gonna love him. It's like you got to be a bold personality to come out to Beyonce at Big Blue Madness. You know, we got Tyler Gall in here, who I met at the Ole Miss game this year. Tyler, nice to see you. He says absolutely Cats by 90. Mark says Cats by 90 as well. Well, we've already had Cats by 71, the rule of 71. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had a night that we hit 90. I mean,
we need to give payback to Duke for what they did to us that year they had Zion. I mean, that was just bad. I turned the TV off. I think you did too.
I did. Well, if you think about it, I don't think Kentucky basketball has been the same like from that moment on. Really the Wisconsin game that it was that way, but really from that moment on, I feel like something really changed consistently. I feel like this game coming up a week from today can be the reverse of that. We can reverse the curse. You know, I really think that can happen. We got some political updates here in the comments. Madeline says Clyde Trump just lost another state, and Clyde said, "Okay, LOL." So we got that update there. Yeah, man. So let's talk about, you know, we talked about the threes last night, which we only hit 11. I know it sounds weird. We only hit 11, but you know, you go back to the Kentucky Wesleyan game, we hit 21, right? And we're going to have multiple games that we hit over 23s. There's not going to be every game by any stretch. But I think the question we were all asking ourselves after that is, okay, what happens if we don't hit threes? Like, are we going to get blown out? And I think last night was, and the game before, honestly, was proof that we got much more in the tank. We got much more ball movement. We got much more offense in the tank than just chucking up threes.
We even had centers beating people off the dribble, like our big men. That really shocked me. Like, they can run the floor. But guys like Butler and Owe, that's whenever they're going to have their big games, is whenever our threes are getting locked down.
You know, something that, you know, a lot of people talked about at the beginning of this year, you know, like Matt Jones mentioned too, and all of us, we were like, do you think like we're going to get blown out in some games? Like there will be some games where we just get cold and get blown out by, you know, 20 to 30, whatever. But I don't necessarily know if that's the case anymore. I think we're always going to be able to keep it close at the very least. I think we're either going to blow teams out or lose at the very end. But I don't really see us getting blown out by anybody. There's too many shooters on this team.
I want to say no, but once again, I've got to see the Duke game first because we've played next to no one so far. But things are looking optimistic.
I remember Tyler was telling me that he's going to the Champions Classic. So he says, can't wait to go to Catlanta I'm jealous, Caden, because that's going to be a really cool, especially if we win. That's going to be an awesome environment to be in. And we already know that Tyler's good luck, but from going to Ole Miss. So, but he also went to the Vandy game, and so did I. So maybe maybe our luck ran out when we lost to Vandy in football.
Did you see someone post? Someone like posted like they're like, "All right, I'm going to say it, 40-0."
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah, I know. I love going to those UK groups and seeing what people say after the game. Somebody said, "I don't want to overreact, but I think we're going to win the national championship." But I mean, I think it's okay to be excited. Like I said, the past few years, guys, let's think about 2015. We almost lost to Columbia. I don't know if people remember that, but we almost lost to Columbia in Rupp Arena that year. And there were a couple other close games too. We almost lost to a bad LSU team.
Arkansas, I remember that game.
Texas A&M. We really almost lost to Texas A&M. So
we were down 10 to Arkansas with like 4 minutes left.
Yeah. So, I think the fact that this team is blowing teams out so far, even if they are these small little teams, I think it makes a huge difference. But all right, guys. Well, we want to go ahead and take a couple of your calls here. 502-234-1504. We'd love to hear from you and hear about not the election. We don't want to hear about politics. But we want to hear about your thoughts on the Cats, the Popes. What do you think the team's going to be called this year, Caden? We got the Unforgettables, Fiddlin' Five. Be the
Bulls,
the 40 and the Bulls, the Bull Cats. I think that's good. Hey, you're on with Talkin Kentucky. Who's this?
It's your boy.
Oh, I don't even need to ask anymore. I recognize your number. So, what's up, Clyde?
What's up? What's going on?
Oh, just talk some Cats. And trying to have a good Tuesday.
Say that last part that you just said. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Oh, I said I'm just watching the Cats and just trying to have a good Tuesday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, true. Same here. And y'all were talking about the Duke game, and I mean, I've been saying this for a couple of months now. I think we're gonna win that game. I really, really do. Like Caden said, that Duke is like us from the Calipari area, and we're like the Kentucky team, but we're like Duke from the Mike Krzyzewski era, because he always kept guys around, and he always had older teams that were just mature, and most time better than other teams, and it's crazy how that's flip flop. Now Duke is trying to win with this number one recruiting class, and Duke is trying to I guess give a Kentucky, Calipari Kentucky vibe, while we're older and we're more mature and more disciplined. And I think that's just going to win us big games. I really do, because you've seen with UConn and other teams, they have just won with older teams, and it shows. And now we have probably, I know this is the oldest team in Kentucky history.
Yeah,
but it's one of those teams of college basketball, period. So
it is, yeah. I mean, I can't remember. It's something crazy. It's just thousands of minutes of experience, and yeah. I mean, it's. I think it's going to pay off to have that experience for sure. But so, what do you think? Give us a final score prediction, I guess, because this will be the last time that we're on here before the Duke game. So go ahead and give us a final score prediction for that game.
Can I get my score for the Bucknell game Saturday, if you don't mind?
Oh yeah. I would love to hear your Bucknell prediction. Yes.
Okay, so that's where Nate Cicina played before he came to UK.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I wonder if he'll be there. Actually, I wonder if he'll show up to Oakland Saturday. I wonder
Hey.
because he will be watching his two former schools play against each other. I wonder if they'll have him do the Y as well.
Yeah,
That'd be
bring
interesting.
Nate Sestina out, do the Y. I'm down. Yeah.
I think we'll win by 28 points.
Really?
Let's see. I'm gonna go with. Well, now I don't know. This team could get to the hundreds. This team could just flat out score. So I'm not gonna say 78. I was gonna say 78 to 50, but I don't know. They might win by more. They might win by 40. Who knows? This team could just flat out score. They can shoot anywhere. And like what Caden said, this team, like, it feels good to shoot the ball because with Calipari's teams, these players are just so scared to shoot the ball that they just hesitate every time when they shot the ball. Well, not Reeves. Reeves never hesitated because he was like the same with Shepard and Dillingham. But
Yeah.
the other guys, they just hesitated too much because they were scared. They was like, oh no, if I don't make the shot, Calipari's going to take me out. But you don't have to worry about that with Pope. He lets you just play through it, like, because eventually you're going to knock a shot down because he just believes in his guys, and that's what it takes to be a successful coach at the college level. And but yeah, I think we'll probably beat Bucknell by 40, maybe, probably, because I mean this team could just score in any way they want to. And the Duke game, that will be a little bit closer just due to the fact that Duke is very talented. They're going to score points, but we're going to play good defense on them because, I mean, we got some guys that will defend their tail off.
Who do you think who do you think's gonna guard Cooper Flag?
Who's going to guard us is the thing.
That's a good point. Yeah, but who's gonna get Cooper Flag? Do you think it's gonna be Ortega or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ortega. They might. I don't know who's Duke's point guard because obviously Lamont will have to guard him. I don't know who's Duke's point. Is it?
Oh, I don't know either.
Isn't it Tyrese Proctor? That's Duke's because. What
could be?
No. I think it's Proctor, if I'm not mistaken.
You could tell me that
I think
Biden is their point guard, and I would tell you that sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Tyrese Proctor. I think Lamont set him down. Either Owe or hold on, let me look at my. I could see either Owe guarding him or Ansley Almanor.
Yeah, that's a probably good
he's
prediction.
A big guy. Right, and Angie's a big guy, so I think he can stay with Cooper. And don't forget, he did guard Zach Edey in that Frederick Dickinson game when they played Purdue, and Ansley held his own against Zach Edey. So don't be surprised if they throw him on there on Cooper Flag. Don't be surprised.
Well, what's your final score prediction for that game?
So I think we'll win by 8. I think it will be 88-80.
I think
we'll win by 8. Okay. I think we'll pull through the last 4 minutes of the game, and I think you'll really see us turn up with shots. And I think the last 4 minutes, I think Kobe Bryant will come in and just knock down some shots. I really do, because I mean, that seems to be what he does. Him and Jackson Robinson for sure.
Well, thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it, and hope you have a good night. And we'll talk to you probably next Tuesday. We'll do a post-game show after the Duke game, so hopefully we'll be talking about a win.
Absolutely, we better be.
All right, well, go Cats, man.
Go Cats.
502-234-1504. Give us a shout. Kate and I will do our Duke predictions right at the end of the show. I had a whole thing planned with I asked Caden before the show, I said, can you make a list of all the states you've been to and haven't been to? And he said, that's random. And I said, LOL. So that was a little show prep for tonight. Maybe that'll take a little longer. So we'll do that next time. I just didn't know I didn't know we were going to talk about Ostrich tonight, to be honest with you. So you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. As we've learned, show prep is usually a waste because we talk about something else anyways.
Madeline says no show after Bucknell. I mean, we might if we're feeling it. Caden, if we're really feeling that we need to.
I'm kind of feeling the Duke one. I don't know what's there going to be to say against Bucknell.
Hopefully nothing.
Yeah, hopefully nothing. Hopefully just we hit, 53s and won by 40.
We might do a little short TK's take video or something like that. Who knows? We'll see. But anybody else that wants to call in, don't be shy. Pete, Madeline, anybody. 502-234-1504. Give us a shout. Kate and I have some beef with Walmart actually that I'd like to share.
Well, they are C tier.
Yeah, I know. Well, but they're also not F tier, right? Like they did okay in our grocery store tier challenge, but I think they may have just gone down to F tier for me today. So, do you know when you go to Walmart, like especially the big Walmarts, they like check your receipts at the door and everything?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Well,
you must have had like a bunch of stuff out of like not in bags or something. Is that how they determine it? I don't know.
It wasn't me. It was this lady with her kids were out in the parking lot. They were walking out of the store and they went out to the parking lot, and this dude chased her down to look at her receipt, and then he looked at it, and he's like, he didn't even look at it for like he couldn't have read it. He was just like, "Okay, you're good." Like my man's taking his job a little too seriously, And then he looked at mine today too. He's like, "Yeah, you're good." So, what's the point of even doing that if you're not going to read the receipt? Does he just want to it could be anything. I could have anything written on there. I could just use the same receipt over and over again and be the same.
Well, at least he cares about his job enough to, try to act like he's doing something.
But you're going to chase it. Do you really think this lady with kids is going to be pulling a fast one on Walmart? That's what Madeline says. What movie was Caden in? Well, he wasn't in a movie.
Well, I wasn't in the movie.
Yeah. He was almost in the movie.
Should I tell the story?
I mean, if you want to, you don't have to.
I mean, there's not much to it. So there was this movie about Miles Davis. I don't know obviously Coleman knows who that is, but he was a famous jazz trumpet player. And I heard about it in college and they needed extras. So I sent my picture in, not thinking anything of it. And a month or two goes by and I get this email and they say literally, "We like the way you look. Please come play for us." So I thought, dang, I might actually be in this movie. So I go up to Cincinnati. It's in this really sketchy bar. It's where these auditions are. And I go in there and it was such a strange experience. It's hard to explain, but I'll go in this bar. I go up there and I play some Miles Davis improv solo. And they're like, "All right, thank you. We'll get back to you." And that was pretty much the end of it.
Sounds like an audition. It's like a orchestra audition.
Yeah, it's like, do you really care about how I play or how I look? Because, they have trumpet players in these movies all the time that aren't even playing the trumpet. They're playing vowels with their left hand,
Oh yeah.
It's obvious that they're not playing the trumpets, and they care that much about how I play to be an extra on this movie.
Claude says, "Aren't most jazz players in a sketchy bar?" Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, they play in sketchy bars, but it was weird. I went in this back door in this bar in downtown Cincinnati, and then had this audition, and nothing happened from it. So.
Well, I like that story. I thought Madeline knows who Miles is. She says, "Wow." Yeah, she's heard of Miles, and you've heard of Caden Holmes. We like the way Caden looks.
That's what they told me. They liked how I looked.
Okay, I want everybody to go. Caden, have you seen this picture in the Kentucky basketball office with Mark Pope and the rest of the coaching staff in suits? Have you seen this? If not, I'm about to say.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I just said I posted
the blue ties.
If you guys haven't seen this, go to our Facebook page, Talkin Kentucky, and look at this. Man, this dude, they look serious, man. They mean business. I just want you to think about. I mean, you can tell just by looking at this picture the difference in this coaching staff and the last. And how much they care. I mean, we had Chin Coleman just, downtown going to Jeff Ruby's, not even scouting at all. That's the other thing. Our coaching staff last year, none of the actual coaching staff scouted. It was the graduate assistants. So we have a graduate assistant scouting for Kansas, and everybody else is just down doing whatever.
And when you got guys like John Wall or like De'Aaron Fox, that usually works because we're just better. But these days, I feel like you got to scout.
Mark says awesome pick. Madeline says I don't see a picture. Madeline, go to our Facebook page. It's on there. I just shared it, and I said all business is the caption. You got Mark Fox, Mark Pope standing there. Man, they all got papers. They're looking like they're studying, looking like they're basketball nerds, which is what you want. Yeah, that picture got me hyped, Caden, for sure. Did you also see that they gave Mark Pope a bourbon barrel top?
Yeah, they gave Kenny Brooks one too.
They gave Kenny Brooks one? Nice.
Yeah. The women won by like 40 as well.
The women almost broke 100 too, which that's going to be a nice change of pace as well. But
is it possible we'll get 2 championships this year?
I think in theory it's possible.
Who's the last team that did that? Was it UConn?
It had to have been, right? The only program that's been good enough in both sports to do that. I can't think of who else it would have been. We're going to be the new UConn, baby. We don't need no Danny Hurley. Get on our level.
We don't need no Godfather offers.
Madeline says, I really like the way Pope treats his wife. He includes her. Yes, that's right. And the other thing that Mark Pope includes is the fans too. In his post-game press conference, man, I was listening to that on the radio too, and he just turns to the fans when he comes out to do his little post-game with Mark Pope or with Tom Leach. He's like, man, did you guys have fun tonight? Like to the fans, like, what do y'all think? Did you guys have fun? And they're like, yeah. He goes, man, every time Kobe Bryant shoots it, I feel like it's going in,
Yeah, and that's the way to be. Like, you want your players to know, and this goes for like trumpet playing with us too, Coleman. Like, you want your teacher or your coach to like have faith in you and think every time you're going to shoot it, it's going to go in. Or like anytime we're going to play trumpet, going to sound good. Like, you want your teacher to have that support.
That's what you want. That's what you want. And Madeline says he was so grateful for the 41 points connection. That's true.
I think the players did that.
You think they tried?
There's no way. Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe it was a God thing. I think he said something like that. Only God could have done that. Something.
Yeah.
Something
well,
like
it probably was a God thing, but it was probably also like Kobe Bryant's like, all right, we probably need a 3 here. So
yeah, I'm just gonna launch a 3. Look the other way. Yeah, that's right. And so the other stat that Jack Givens gave out on the post game show, we had 30 assists as a team on 39 attempts. That's a definition of sharing the basketball. That's a pretty crazy stat. 30 assists on 39 attempts. You didn't see Cal teams do that.
Yeah, and that play by Kirk Kriisa that we were talking about earlier, like, kind of summed up the entire team as far as sharing the ball. Because he had a wide open layup, but he saw Kobe Bryant wide open for a 3 on the corner and decided to pass it.
Well, guys, we'll go ahead and start to wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching and listening very much. If you haven't already, like us on Facebook. We also have a YouTube channel. You should subscribe to that at Talkin_Kentucky. We're also on X, just like Elon Musk. We're on X, and we also have an Instagram. So tell your friends about us. Subscribe to all the things. We're also on Spotify and iHeart and Apple Podcasts and all those things. So be sure to check those out and give us 5 stars on all that. We'd really appreciate that. And yeah, thank you guys for listening very much. Can we call this episode anything but Talking Ostrich? I feel like that's what it's got to be.
I just noticed, Coleman, my grandma posted a comment for like the first time in history.
Oh, Paulette Holmes.
And
I like how
she likes
Caden
the way I look.
looks.
So thank you, Grandma.
Well, there you go. That's a sweet.
I don't
comment.
need anyone else's compliment. Got that one.
Got that one. That's right. Well, let's eat it. But so talking ostrich, is that what it is? That what we're doing here?
Talking Madeline's awful food choices rolls off the tongue.
Doesn't roll off the tongue quite as much as ostrich. I mean, yeah.
What do we almost call that one show talking Secret Admirers and Mark Pope's gas or something?
Something like that, yeah. So it's quite a mouthful, but
talking. It's okay. So talking ostrich.
Yeah, I don't see how it could be anything else. To be honest with you, we'll probably do a post game show. Well, we'll definitely do a post game show for the Duke game. So we'll definitely see you all back here next Tuesday night, right after the game. We may do something before then. Probably not. Again, hopefully there's nothing to talk about with Bucknell. But hopefully, we'll do a little post game show after the Duke game next week. Mark Coral says, enjoy the show. Thanks, Mark. We got a lot of great Marks in Big Blue Nation right now. We got Mark Pope, Mark Stoops, and Mark Corell. So
Mark Fox.
Mark Fox. There you go. Yep, a lot of Marks. So well, come back, Mark. Appreciate it. Well, for Coleman Scott and for Caden Holmes and for Ostriches.
Yeah, save the ostriches. Or would it be ostri? Is it the plural?
I think it's ostriches. I think it's just ostriches. Yeah, I don't think it's ostri.
Ostri.
No, I don't think it's ostri. I think it's just ostriches. So
like one of the dumbest things I've said in a while. But
well, it's okay. That's what the show is for. All right. Thank you, folks, very much. It's been fun. And we'll see y'all next time. Go Cats.